Good. Good morning to everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Good
good
morning, sir.
morning. Very good morning. So we will start further. So we have been discussing about if scattering aperture. So we will continue further with the rest of the things. So we have in the previous class we have discussed upon the antenna aperture, and where we have seen that you have the effective aperture and scattering aperture. We have completed. Effective aperture is AE is WE by P, and alpha we have got, that is called as the effectiveness ratio, that is AE divided by AEM, and AEM is V square divided by 4P RR, and all these things we have discussed already. Now we have scattering aperture. It is denoted as AS, and we have written AS is equal to WS by P, and we have got the scattering ratio here, that is beta, that is RR divided by RT, and you know that alpha should be between 0 and 1, but beta has to be between 0 and alpha. So that when the maximum power transfer, you can write AS is equal to AEM. So these were what we have just discussed in the previous class. Now we will continue further with the concepts, whatever we are going to see further in the antenna aperture. So in antenna aperture, we can see that further on. So we are going to see rest of the things like loss aperture. So the third one is called as the loss aperture. So you can just note down, it is written as AL. AL is the notation for loss aperture, and it is the ratio of power losses as heat dissipation and the power density. So what you can call it as loss aperture? It is the ratio of power loss as heat dissipation and power density. So we can write it as AL is equal to I square RL divided by P, or AL can be written as V square RL divided by P into RR plus RL plus RT whole square plus XA plus XT whole square. So this is the equation for AL, and that is the ratio of power loss as heat dissipation. So what is loss aperture? Is the loss of power in the form of density. So the ratio of power loss as heat dissipation to the power density is called as the loss aperture. You can write down that. Then the next one we will see, that is called as the collective aperture. You just note down the equations for loss aperture, then we will continue with the collective aperture. See, with respect to attendance, you have to be careful. If you are present in the class, your attendance will be counted. Otherwise, uh, it's all recorded, so it's all transparent which class you have attended, which class you have not attended. So no need to worry about it. If you have your attendance is you are attending the classes, it will reflect there in the recordings itself. So that is what, it's very transparent. So we will you just complete that. So I want all of you to attend the classes and not create unnecessary problems for you in the future. Okay, so we have discussed about the loss aperture, that is AL, and it is the ratio of it is the ratio of power loss as heat dissipation and the power density. AL is equal to I square RL divided by P. So next one is called as the collective aperture, that is called as AC, and represented as the ratio of total received power and the power density. So AC is equal to W by P, and it is I square into RR plus RL plus RT divided by P, or you can write it as V square into RR plus RL plus RT divided by P into RR plus RL plus RT whole square plus XA plus XT whole square. So this is called as a collective aperture. So collective aperture is denoted as AC, and it is a ratio of total received power and the power density. AC is equal to V square into RR plus RL plus RT divided by P into RR plus RL plus RT whole square plus XA plus XT whole square. So these are all definitions and few equations for each and every parameter. So you have seen effective aperture, scattering aperture, loss aperture AL, and as well as the collective aperture AC. So collective aperture is the ratio of total power received to the, so how much power will give you the collective aperture. It's very much clear, that word itself, collective. One more we will be studying, that is called as a physical aperture. So what is the definition for physical aperture is, physical aperture is denoted as AP. So AP is the notation for physical aperture. It depends upon the the physical aperture mainly depends upon the size of an antenna, shape of an antenna, and dimension of an antenna. So these are the three main things which the physical aperture means. Physical aperture means how the antenna is made up of, what is the shape of the antenna, size of the antenna, and dimension of the antenna, and is independent of the power of operation. So it is not worried about the what is the power, means it is called as AP. AP is basically depending upon the size, shape, and dimension of the antenna, and it's independent of the power. It is defined as the physical area of cross section. So it's the area of cross section particular to the direction of propagation of incident wave, and the antenna is situated for maximum response. So you need to get the maximum output. So that is very important for you, the maximum response. For that, the physical area cross section that is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of incident wave, and the antenna is situated in a maximum response. So physical aperture basically deals with the shape, size, and the dimension of the antenna, and it is independent of the power. That is the main thing. Okay. So and you should be able to get the maximum response. So these are the five classifications of aperture we have seen from the beginning. So we have seen effective aperture, then we have seen scattering aperture, we have seen loss aperture, we have seen collective aperture, and also completed with physical aperture. It is called as AP. So those who have just joined, I'll just brief you that we have also discussed upon the loss aperture. So that is AL, loss as heat dissipation, that is AL is equal to I square RL divided by P. AL is V square RL divided by P into RR plus RL plus RT whole square, XA plus XT whole square. Then we have discussed upon the collective aperture. It is the ratio of total received power and the power density, that is W by P. And when you go with the equation, you have to take RR plus RL plus RT, you have to take here V square into RR collective. So collective aperture, you have to take RR plus RL plus RT all together. Okay. So divided by P into RR plus RL plus RT whole square plus XA plus XT whole square. Physical aperture is actually depending on only the size, shape, and orientation or dimension of the antenna. it is independent of the power of operation. So your main thing is that how good you design the system so that you get maximum response of from the system. So that is the intention of physical aperture. It is denoted as AP. So you note down these points. After that, we will discuss upon the few relationships of each thing in detail. So another 4 classes will be there before the IIE 4, and topics will be completing there. So those things also you need to study for your exam. So module 2 full, module 2 half of the section, third module full will be there, and fourth module almost some 4 topics will be there, half almost close to half of that module. So have you completed this till physical aperture, including that? Have you completed? Have you completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, fine. So we will continue further. You note down these points. That we have to see the relationships of each other, like how the aperture is related to directivity, how the directivity is related to gain, you have already seen, how the aperture is related to beam area or beam efficiency. So what some few relations with each other we'll be seeing here further. So few equations will to solve the problems, because some of the parameters will be given, like antenna aperture will be given for you, you will be asked to find out the directivity, and sometimes directivity will be given for you, you will be asked to find out the effective aperture. So you need to know the interrelationship of each component, and you should be able to justify that. So we may sometimes go with the beam area, beam solid angle, all those things we'll be finding out. So there are interrelationships of all these parameters, and by knowing one of the parameter, you can try to do the calculation for the other parameter. So let us see that. So that is we can note down as aperture efficiency. So aperture efficiency epsilon AP can be written as AE divided by P. So here we are going to see all the equations here in this. Now the relations of aperture efficiency is AE divided by AP. What is AE? Effective aperture. What is AP? What is AP? So that is physical aperture. So the aperture efficiency is given as AE divided by AP, and the relationship between AE and omega A. So omega A, how you can relate AE with omega A is lambda square is equal to AE omega A, or omega A can be written in terms of effective aperture as omega A is equal to lambda square by AE. So these relationships you need to remember, because for example, effective aperture is given in a problem and you are asked to find out omega A. So you can just use this equation and directly find that. So you need to understand all these things. Okay. Now let us see how the directivity is 4 pi by omega A. Now how omega A is lambda square by A. So how you can relate the directivity with the aperture. Now we are going to see that how the directivity and aperture can be related to know that. So omega A is what? Lambda square by A. So I can just substitute omega A here. So I can write directivity in terms of AE, that is effective aperture. So when you write the equation for directivity, it is 4 pi by omega A. If you want to know how the directivity can be calculated with the effective aperture, that is 4 pi AE by lambda square. So you get directivity as 4 pi AE by lambda square. So that relationship you need to remember. Omega A is equal to lambda square by AE, you need to remember. D is equal to 4 pi AE divided by lambda square, you need to remember. So next one we call it as absorption ratio, that is V is equal to AEM divided by AP. What is AEM? Maximum effective aperture divided by physical aperture. So absorption ratio is called as AEM divided by AP. So once you complete it, we will move ahead with the problem, and we will try to solve one problem. So you can complete all these equations, then we'll see this problem. The normalized field pattern of an antenna is given as En is equal to sine theta sine phi, where theta is the zenith angle, phi is the azimuth angle. Theta and phi range between 0 and pi. We need to find here directivity and the difference in dB. So note down these equations and note down that problem. Once you complete the equations and problem, we will go ahead with solution to that problem. So here, as I have told you that all of you should be very much keen in understanding the integration part of it. So integration is very important wherever integration comes, no, for the limit 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi, you have to solve it for, it may be for sine theta, it may be for sine cube theta, it may be for sine theta sine phi. So any combination can be possible. So you should be ready for integrating the things. You can try all the trigonometric relationships. You remember all the trigonometric relationships. Try to remember the few integration concepts, and then stick on to that and try to simplify the integration for sine square, sine cube, for sine theta, cos phi, cos theta, sine phi, sine square theta, cos theta, sine theta, tan theta. So all those things, how to integrate it, you should be clear with it. So you can practice some 4-5 combinations of all these things. So you will become confident, you will be done. So all of you note down that problem, then we will proceed further. Once you complete that writing down that problem, you just inform me. So the function here it is given as En, that is sine theta sine phi. Have you completed the problem? Have you written the question? Once you complete it, just respond to me. We will continue further with the solution for that. So here you have to find out the directivity. Have you all completed?
Yes.
Bhumika, it's over. Bhumika, have you written the
Yes, sir.
question? Okay, so we will go ahead with the solution for that problem. So we got En is equal to sine theta sine phi. Let us find out the directivity. So we know the equation for directivity. So what is the equation for directivity? 4 pi divided by integral of 0 to 2 pi, 0 to pi, sine theta sine phi that is here what you can see here, it is E. So there it is P, power. So you need to take square of this E square you need to take. So sine theta sine phi whole square you need to take. So don't forget all these things. So E sine theta sine phi square sine theta d theta d phi. So now you have to integrate for the limits 0 to pi and 0 to pi for sine cube theta. So sine square phi d phi d theta d phi. So that is what the integration you have to do. So here in the question, theta and phi ranges from 0 to pi. It is clearly mentioned. So each theta phi has to be written with between 0 and pi itself. So you have to integrate for integral of 0 to pi, integral of 0 to pi sine theta, sine cube theta, sine square theta d phi. Let us do for integral of theta separate, phi separate. So integral of 0 to pi sine cube theta d theta, integral of 0 to pi sine square phi d phi. So it's, if you know the integration, it is just a matter of 5 minutes to complete it. So sine cube theta d theta we have already integrated it before in the previous class. So it will be 4 So you can solve that problem. Can you see the document there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can solve the problem. So what you will be getting? You will be getting it as integral of 0 to pi sine cube theta, integral of 0 to pi 1 minus sine square theta phi can be written as 1 minus cos 2 phi divided by 2 sine phi. So when you integrate it, you will get 4 by 3 into pi by 2. So the answer will be 2 pi by 3. So all of you got 2 pi by 3. Have you completed 2 pi by 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once you do the integration, see already sine cube, we have already done it before. So the same method you can do it. 1 minus cos 2 phi divided by 2. When you integrate, you will get pi by 2. When you do it 2 pi by 3, you will get. So directivity is what? What is the equation for directivity? 4 pi by this term. So we can write it as 4 pi divided by 2 pi by 3. So what is that? 4 pi divided by 2 pi by 3, it is 6. So what you will get directivity, you will get it as 6. So when this is the exact method, they are asking you in the problem, you can see that difference in dB. So what is the difference that you are going to get between the exact method and the approximate method? What is the equation for approximate method? 41,253 divided by theta half power, phi half power. So theta half power is what? 0 to pi. So half of that is 90. This is also phi is also 0 to pi, then 0 to 180, no? So half of that is 90. So 90 multiplied by 90 you'll get. So 41253 divided by 90 into 90, you'll get it as 5.1. So you can see the difference is in the approximate method you are getting 5.1, in the exact method you are getting 6. So the 6 is the right answer because it is through the exact method. Approximately, if some cases you have to find out, you'll get it as 5.1. So what you have to do next, difference you have to find. So to find the difference in dB, you have to take the exact method divided by the approximate method. So difference in dB is 10 log to the base 10. 6 divided by 5.1, you will get 0.7 dB. So that is what you are going to get the difference in dB. So once you calculate that, you can complete the next problem. Here, this problem is very easy. Find the maximum effective aperture of an antenna where directivity is 1.5. So use the direct equation in order to find that. So that is very easy to do. You have to just use the equation to find. Use the direct equation to find. You know the equation of effective aperture and directivity relationship. Use that equation and you can find it out. So what you will get, a effective aperture, that is lambda square d by 4 pi. So you will get it as 0.119 lambda square meters is the unit for that. So it's a very easy, simple problem. Use the direct equation. You write it, lambda is not given for you, so you write it in terms of lambda itself. So 0.119 lambda square. So let us now discuss upon the effective height. All of you have completed the second problem. You can complete it. Then we will move on to effective height. So the second problem, it is just substitution of d here in this equation. You will get this. Directivity is given as 1.5. Substitute, you will get 0.119 lambda square. So now we will discuss upon the height. So you can see that the effective height is defined as h. Okay, h is the notation for effective height. Effective height of an antenna is the parameter related to the aperture, and effective height is defined as the ratio of induced voltage to the incident field, or in when you write it in the mathematical form, you can write it as H is equal to V by E. It is defined as the ratio of induced voltage to the incident field. Its notation is H, and you can write it as V by E, or V is equal to HE. So H is equal to V by E, or V is equal to HE. So we can write the other way of defining the effective height. You can say that you can also write that if the effective height is to be considered by transmitting case and equating the effective height to the physical height multiplied by the average current. So you can write the equation for HE as HE is equal to 1 divided. So all these things are equations in order to find out the height. HE is equal to 1 by I naught integral of 0 to HP Iz dz, or you can write it as I average divided by I naught HP. HP is the physical means effective height is HE, and HP is the physical will be the effective height, HP will be the physical height, and IE divided by I average, or you can say that I average divided by I naught. I average is called as the average current. So you can define height in terms of effective height can be defined in terms of physical height as well as in terms of average current. So that is what HE is equal to I average divided by I naught divided into HP. So it can also be defined in terms of V by E. H is equal to V by E, and these are some of the basic equations for calculating the effective height. So you can note down these things. So you'll get it as effective height as H is equal to V by E, or V is equal to HE. You will get effective height in terms of physical height, that is HE is equal to I average divided by I naught into HP. So all of you complete these equations. So next we will be studying about the bandwidth and radiation and all those things. So have you all completed this effective height equation, I average divided by I naught into HP? Is that over? So have you all completed? So let me move further.
Yes.
Are you still completing, or you have completed?
Completed.
Okay. So these are the equations which you can make a note of it for effective height. H is equal to V by E and HE is equal to I average divided by I naught into HP. So further moving on. So further we will discuss upon few more things with respect to the effective height. So the antenna of a radiation resistance RR matched to the load. So you can write effective height in terms of radiation resistance RR as well as the power delivered that is P. So all those things you can relate the effective height. P is equal to H square I E square divided by 4RR. You can have an equation which is in relation with the radiation resistance as well. That is P is equal to H square 1 by 4 V square by RR, or it can be written as H square E square divided by 4RR. We can also relate the height in terms of antenna aperture as well. So let us relate it with the effective aperture, and the effective aperture and the effective heights can be related to each other via the radiation resistance. So we are going to see that. So the relationship of effective aperture and effective height help of radiation resistance and impedance, intrinsic impedance is AE is equal to HE square Z naught divided by 4RR. So Z naught is called as the intrinsic impedance of space and it is 377. It is a known value for you. Intrinsic impedance of space 377. It's a constant and that is Z naught. So you can interrelate effective height with respect to effective aperture as well by using the equation A is equal to He square Z naught divided by 4RR. Complete it. After that, we will be moving on to bandwidth. So we will complete the discussion on bandwidth, and today we will then stop. So if you complete this equations. So we have seen the equation for P, we have seen the equation for AE. A in terms of height, that is H square Z naught divided by 4RR. We have seen that intrinsic impedance of space is 377. So you complete all these equations. Then we'll start discussing about bandwidth. The bandwidth is a very nominal and very common parameter, which you all of you know that. So the parameter of an antenna are functions of frequency and the range of frequency over which the performance of the antenna is same specific. So it is limits to know that the bandwidth of an antenna. So it's very important to understand the bandwidth of an antenna. You have the same equation, that is bandwidth is equal to Fu minus Fl divided by F naught. So F naught is Fu plus Fl divided by 2, and Fu is the upper cutoff, Fl is the lower cutoff. So we'll see that. So all of you complete this first equation for AE and all, and then we will move on to bandwidth. So we'll go with bandwidth. So you can see that an antenna as a function of frequency, the range of frequency over which the performance of the antenna is within a specified limit. So where the performance of the antenna is good, so that portion we are going to take, or the frequency range through which the performance of the antenna is good, is called as the bandwidth. So bandwidth is upper cutoff minus lower divided by f naught, where f into 100%. So that's where you can calculate bandwidth, and f naught can be calculated as fu plus fl divided by 2, and the bandwidth is inversely proportional to the quality factor. So bandwidth is equal to f naught divided by q, where f naught is the center frequency. You call that f naught as the center frequency, and q is called as the quality factor. So we'll be discussing this radiation resistance in the upcoming class. So you can just note down these things. Bandwidth. So bandwidth is given as bandwidth is equal to FL minus FU minus FL divided by F naught into 100, or F naught is FU plus FL divided by 2, and bandwidth can be written as F naught divided by Q. F naught is the center frequency, Q is the quality factor. So we will you can complete this. With this, we will wind up for today, and radiation resistance onwards we will be discussing in the next class. So all of you can complete these things. So that's all for today. You complete it. We'll discuss radiation resistance from the upcoming class. So okay, that's all. Thank you.